Hello and welcome to the first episode of Updates with Eli. I'm Eli. I'm a bard and a chaos goblin by nature, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about what I do with my Twitch stream. What is Bardic Shenanigans? Why are we on YouTube now? How did we get started? And kind of what do I stand for and what am I trying to do with this project? So to explain where this came from, we got to go back a few years to a couple different things. One, I'd always had ideas of wanting to try and put content up on YouTube. Never really sure what to do, but I knew I wanted to do something kind of with singing and with music. I knew I wanted to do something with fan fiction. Like, I had this idea of people reading some, and if you laugh, you pass. Like, take a drink, pass it around. That was an idea I'd had. But all of my friends were online, and nothing really ever came from it. I was always busy, always in grad school. And then COVID hit. Well, at this point, not only are all of my friends online, but we're all stuck inside. But that basically, in a weird way, is what did end up launching all of this. So when COVID hit, there was this group on Facebook that immediately got popular, like within the first week of quarantine. It was a quarantine karaoke group that some people had started up, like millions of people in the group within days. And anybody who had really missed karaoke or had liked singing would join the group, and people would go live, people would post videos, and there were a lot of people in there that were like, oh yeah, I've got this whole professional karaoke set up in my basement. And to me, it was like, that's really cool, but I kind of want to get my voice out there, and I can't compete with the professionals. And not that karaoke was about competing, it was about bonding, but I wanted to, like, bond with people through my music. And, I am not good enough to get that sort of attention. I'm not professional enough. I don't have any sort of, notoriety. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to just do what they're doing in this group, but I'm going to live stream from my own Facebook. And I did, all the way back in March of 2020. And I had a blast. Some people showed up, and it went really well. So the next week, I did it again. And then again. And I did that every week for months, like 4 months. And around that time, I'm in a few different Facebook groups for Game Grumps fans. And one of the groups that I'm in, somebody posted just a general, like, what are things that people like to do? I can't remember if it was, like, specific to during COVID, but definitely it was, like, what are things that people like to do? And one guy had mentioned that he missed going to the bar and doing karaoke, and I mentioned, like, that I've actually just been doing it on my own Facebook, that I really enjoy karaoke. And I can't remember exactly how the conversation went, if it was him reacting to me saying that I did karaoke or if it was me reacting to him. But eventually this guy's like, so if you're doing this on your own page, have you ever thought about making a Facebook group for karaoke? And I said, you know what? That's a good idea. And I asked a couple other Game Grumps groups, hey, so-and-so brought up this idea. If I were to start a group, would people be interested? And I got some good responses, and sure enough, Karaoke Lovelies was born. And we called it Karaoke Lovelies in honor of being Game Grumps fans. They call their fans Lovelies, which is my personal favorite gender-neutral term. And so then we were in a Facebook group, and group online karaoke became a thing. We would set up little, Facebook group chats, and people would show up and we'd sing that way. And let me tell you, it is one thing singing into a blank computer screen, and you do have to look at yourself, which is intimidating, but you're just responding to comments. When you have to see other people's faces, it's a step up. It's intimidating, but we had a blast. And that would have been like late July of 2020. A few months later, we get to October. Same Game Grumps group. The game Among Us is just taking off. It's skyrocketing. And some people say, like, hey, who wants to, do we want to make a Discord server so that we can all kind of come play together? And I joined that. I had never really done a lot of group video gaming, but now that I was not in school anymore, because when COVID hit, I dropped out of grad school, moved back home to South Dakota so I could be with my daughter. And that'll be like another podcast day, but I've still been adjusting to non-school life ever since, and gaming has been one of the things that has been really positive for me. So I started playing Among Us with a lot of these Game Grumps fans, and a lot of them have their own Twitch streams. And we all really encouraged each other with our streams, a lot of following each other, helped a lot of people get monetized, but basically these people gave me the confidence to try and move from streaming on Facebook to streaming on Twitch. And I did a couple times a week just for fun. I never thought anything would come from it. And then we're getting to March of 2021, and suddenly I'm actually getting close to the affiliate status. I've got enough stream hours, and enough viewers, and I just need to get the followers. And some strings were pulled to make all of those things happen. I was in a couple D&D campaigns at the time, and I basically worked with the DM. They had always wanted to stream their sessions, but didn't have the, like their internet couldn't upload the stream, so it was like, okay, I'll stream on your behalf, and then that means that I have more hours, more content, better way to get followers. So we kind of made that deal out. A couple other people started coming up with programs to stream on my channel, and then we got monetized, and it was just awesome at this point. And even though like it was technically my channel and twice a week I was still doing, you know, solo karaoke by myself, it really felt like a group project to me. And that kind of leads me to I think now would be a good time to really kind of talk about, as we're at this point, we're monetized, who are we, what do we stand for, why is it called Bardic Shenanigans? Well, because I've always kind of wanted to be a bard, but also because we were very D&D affiliated, and that's my class. Especially now that, like, the channel is branded as such, I always have to play at least a bard or a part bard. But, you know, my friends and I came together, and what we really wanted to do with this channel was create a safe place for the LGBT community. Most of the people that were initially and or are still involved are trans. If not at least some type of LGBT. I think we have one true cis-het person, and he's the most fantastic ally I've ever met. And we also wanted to create a safe place for mental health, a place where we can talk about that. And our other main thing that we cared about is taking a very broad definition of art. Pretty much anything can be art, not just your visual arts and crafts, but like music, writing, voice acting, cooking, baking, D&D, anything that's creative. And our goal was to find as many kind of just different artists, especially if they were queer artists, and really get to just demonstrate that on our channel. We had a podcast too at one point, and that was really kind of our thing, was like bring more attention to different art forms, especially art by queer artists, and create a safe place for queer people on the internet, a place that's like openly our own. It's not just we accept queer people. No, this is an openly queer channel run by queer people. And things were great for a couple months, but there started being a little bit of dynamic issues, and it's a little hard to talk about, but I have had to learn the hard way that it can be really difficult trying to start the budding parts of what I would hope, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but would hope to be a business with your friends, because you're not supposed to create any sort of power dynamic. And I never wanted a power dynamic, but there was just some complications as far as the fact that this is technically my channel. It's technically my name in it. When we're streaming D&D, I'm still the one that's doing like the opening and the closing, welcoming people to the stream. And I will 100% say on behalf of the people involved, there was never any resentment. There was never any jealousy. It was not that sort of a problem. But where the problem came in is that I was trying to pay people to help run the channel, but I could only pay based off of what I made. I wasn't making a super ton and then having to like split it different ways. There's not a lot that you can give people. And also a lot of the people that were paying me were the same ones that I was paying. You know, put the money into the channel, get the notoriety that way, keep revolving it. And a lot of us are people that struggle with mental health problems. And what happens when I'm having a bad day? Okay, I might have a couple other people that are willing to stream for me, especially if it's a D&D night where it's not just me singing, I can cancel, it's we got to put this up online because the session's still running. Well, it's technically my channel, I'm the one getting paid, that means I should be obligated to do it, and if somebody else isn't feeling like they want to, I can't go making somebody do it. That's not fair. But it did cause some conflict over, like, who is the one that needs to be doing this. And I think there was just also some complications as far as if I'm paying someone, that technically means, like, I'm their boss, right? Which technically means that they should actually be doing the work for me that I'm paying them for. But then again, like I said, I don't have all that money. I basically learned I'm not meant to run a business, but also that there is a lot of dangers involved in trying to create a sort of a business, a company with close friends. There were some falling outs that happened, and it was difficult, and since then I had to make a very real choice with my channel to proceed doing it as just me. And ultimate goal, I would love to retry it as a group project, or at least I still want to see if I don't really have the time or the reach to get to a lot of people, but I'm still hoping that I can get enough notoriety to try and have guests so that I can still get back to that original goal of there being all these different kinds of art forms, a lot of them that I can't do, and really trying to get the name out for more queer artists. It's still on there as a goal. It's not necessarily one that I can do at the moment, but I am going to have to keep the brand as really just me for the time being until something changes. Now, the exception is Bardic Shenanigans. That is our gaming channel. Another friend initially was running that. She actually just got busy, so I've just kind of been running it. And at some point, we had talked about having other people come on and stream on it too. I still have to figure out the kinks of that, because again, it's technically not my channel, even though I'm the one that's been running it lately. I don't want to just give permissions to other people to stream, but yeah, it's complicated. People have busy lives, and this kind of stuff is it's time consuming, and it's a lot of fun. I love streaming, but there are times where you're trying to schedule what works for you, and maybe you're just not feeling it, or something comes up and you get busy, and trying to schedule that with multiple people, it's tough. But basically, where we are now, I am going to try and continue these updates. I have always wanted to end up on YouTube. I've been recording videos for months. I don't know how to do editing, and none of my friends really do. And I also, until I just recently got a job this week, didn't have the money to pay someone. So hopefully there's going to be more content from me going up online. But this is the first time that I'm doing directly recording specifically for YouTube. As I've become a streamer, I've been watching a lot more of other people's videos, and I've noticed that there really is a difference between the videos that originally started out as streams and videos that are just recorded specifically to go on YouTube. They're usually shorter segments is the biggest difference I've noticed. So I think what I'm going to do is try and keep these weekly updates going, talk about different things. You can always leave comments you can always leave me comments on what kinds of things you want me to talk about. It can be anything serious or silly, and I'll just sit there and talk about it. Maybe I'll do like a getting to know me in the next one. Or, well, no, that would make sense to do here. Sorry, I'm rambling. Basic things about me. I have 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree. I'm mostly trained in history, specifically ancient or medieval. I do women, gender, queer, and sexuality studies. So that's kind of my area of focus. I am a huge nerd. I love Supernatural, Marvel, Game of Thrones. It's a long list. Bunch of different animes. Currently obsessed with Danganronpa. Avatar, that's another big one. And yeah, feel free to leave comments suggesting anything you want me to talk about, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I'm going to go ahead and get things wrapping up, but I hope this helps you kind of understand me, where Bardic Shenanigans came from, and really what we're trying to do. I do realize that I'm just one person, and that I'm kind of a nobody as of now, but I still want to create a safe place for queer people and for mental health and for queer art and art of any kind. I hope that at the very least I can inspire people to take pride in their own art forms and to understand that when they're doing creative, they're making art and they're making the world a better place. Until next week, bye!